GWD community, welcome back. It's been a while. I hope everyone is doing well. Today we are going to be talking about NBA 2K, but before we jump into that, I do want to announce I'm doing a giveaway. There's several actions you can take. Once you do them all, you can get an additional 2 entries totaling 10, so the link to that will be in the bio. But to jump into the discussion, and what I really wanted to talk about today is the idea, or the question, is 2K overhated? So with 2K26 coming soon, the hype is starting to pick up a little bit. News is dropping. Content creators are starting to make more content. Social media is starting to buzz. So you'll see different things, right? You'll see people's opinions a little bit more than other times because the game is coming out. So with that, I just feel like I've been seeing so much negativity surrounding NBA 2K. And I'm here to deem if that's fair or not, or just my opinion, how I see it, and I'd love to know how you guys see it. Just to determine if this is true critiques, if the game is truly in a worse state, or is it some type of other factor at play. So the way I tackled this is several metrics, several things to look at, right? Number one is just kind of the state of all sport games in general. So you look at MLB The Show, you look at FIFA, you look at Madden, you look at NHL, you look at all of these games, right? There's a general consensus among everyone that plays these games, as far as what the issues are with them. That's going to be lack of innovation, right? Money-hungry practices, failing to kind of communicate or failing to take into account what the community is asking for and then building those things into the game. And I think we can all agree, or if you don't know, now this is the answer. The reason for all of those things is that all of these games have a monopoly on their specific genre. Or Take-Two and 2K are the only games that make simulation basketball games. EA is the only company that makes simulation football games. Same goes for FIFA and NHL, right? So you have one brand making the game. So they have a monopoly. That's discussed. That's well known amongst everybody that plays sports games. So that's really not the problem. I mean, that is a problem, but that's well known. But secondly, I think more than anything, and this is important to note, we are now in the age of social media where you have things like TikTok, you have things like Instagram, and just a way for people like me and you who aren't necessarily influencers or have big voices in the world to influence a lot of people really quickly with these algorithms, because things spread like wildfire. If you have something that goes viral, everyone's going to see it, everyone's going to hear it. And that in itself is different than what things were in 2013 or 2012 or 2016 even, when people are comparing to these other games. So I'll tie all that in and how that makes sense. But here's what I think is occurring with NBA 2K as a whole. Do I think it's a bad game? No. Do I think obviously every game has flaws. Do I think it has flaws? Yes. But to the extent that it's being hated, I don't think that's the case, right? If you go on social media right now, you're going to see a number of people protesting the game, saying, hey, don't buy it, don't do that. And I applaud that, right? If you think it's a bad product, you should protest with your wallet. As long as you can have whatever reason you want, but my job here is to determine, are the reasonings fair? And we're going to jump into what some of the reasons I've seen have been. Firstly, what I've seen has been one of the key reasons is VC prices, right? Okay, you say Ronnie's being greedy. Ronnie, I say that's a joke. Ronnie's being greedy. 2K's being greedy. Builds are constantly going up in price. It's harder and harder to earn VC in game, and so it just takes longer to grind these characters. It's more expensive to be competitive. The game is quote unquote pay to win, right? You'll hear a lot of people say the game is pay to win. My rebuttal to that, and let me preference this by saying I work in corporate finance. I am not taking up for Take-Two when I say this, but I do understand just business philosophy, right? And maybe I can share my thoughts, and if you guys think it's different, I'd love to hear what you thought on this. But people are spending a ridiculous amount of money on VC. We are doing that. The consumer is doing that, right? That is not 2K's fault. That is the person who buys 2K with the assumption that I'm going to spend $100 day one to get my build to an 85 overall just so I can compete, which is not the case, in my opinion. You do not need to be an 86 overall day one to compete. Most people aren't going to be able to shoot. Most people, their builds are going to be mid. They have no badges. You just want to be better than everybody. You, this hypothetical person. And so in order to do that, you have decided, I want to fast track my way past the grind part straight into a competent build that can win online. Cool. When one person does that, the next person decides, hey, I want to do that too. I'm going to buy a build because he's an 86 overall. I'm a 60 overall. I can't compete with him because, you know, blah, blah, blah. He bought VC. He cheated. Or not cheated, but you get the gist, right? I have to keep up to play with these other people. Where in there is that 2K's fault? Right? That is a consumer behavior that ultimately 2K is going to benefit off of. If you're a company, why wouldn't you sell VC? Obviously people want to buy it. Obviously there's a demand for it. The game is meant to be played. I mean, the game can be played without purchasing VC. I don't buy VC. I personally like to grind builds from 60s and just see the development, right? That is what makes 2K fun for me. Other people see it differently. They want to get on the game. They want to be able to do everything that build was made to do day one. Cool. That's not how the game was intended to play. You're not supposed to be a day one. So 2K has given you the ability to purchase a way to bypass the grind. And I guess the discussion is that 2K's fault. 2K should take away, think about this. Should 2K take away VC, the ability to buy VC and force everybody to grind? They could very well do that, right? And that might be like the ethical thing to do. But if you're a company making billions of dollars off of that system, the consumers, us, have decided we are okay paying that. Why would you do that? So the anger should not, I think, the anger shouldn't be at 2K for making VC prices more or less or whatever it is. The anger should be at people buying it, right? If you're protesting 2K because VC prices are too high, I applaud that. That's the right method. That's you making your voice heard, and that is how a corporation is going to change. They're going to realize, okay, prices are too high. We need to lower prices. That's what the people want. But if prices are high and people are still paying for it, why wouldn't they keep raising prices or keep the prices where they are, right? So that's my point. And I don't know if I'd like to hear other people's opinion on that. I don't think it's wrong. I'm just kind of thinking of it kind of from the corporate sitting. I don't think people are wrong. I just think people need to understand that we have the power there, right? It's the same with Madden. It's the same with these packs. And if we want these companies to do better, you have to hit them where it hurts, which is the wallet. And saying it vocally doesn't matter because the revenue is still there. Like saying, oh, we want prices to be lower. When they look at the balance sheet or the profit and loss statement of 2K, and they're making record revenue sales on VC, it's like, I don't know that to be true exactly, but I'd imagine they're making a decent amount of money, right? Why would they deter from that system? There has to be an external force. And I think a lot of it is what the comment section is doing now is, hey, protest 2K, protest, but I don't think it's because the game is bad. It's protest the VC prices because we as consumers shouldn't have to pay that much. That should be the focus, not that the game is bad. Because I don't think the game is bad. Second point, and I think it's one of the bigger things, is you look at like gameplay, right? The gameplay improvements and the just overall innovation. I had these things kind of broken out, which is like dribbling and shooting and the builds, but I'm just going to loop them all in together. Look at 2K. Look at a game like, I'm going to use Madden because I think Madden is a great example. The Madden community and their fans have been asking forever for just basic features, right? Like, can my dude even block? Can my quarterback run out of the pocket without like just simple things, right? Kickers, field goals being like automatically determined that they're going to be blocked. Just basic functions. Positional players being the right position. Things like that. They've been asking for those types of things for like 20 years. The game is stale. The game has not changed. The game is in a very bad state. I don't think 2K is in that state. I think 2K has innovated. They've changed their game. Now, whether you want to determine that if that's better or worse, that's a different story. But I don't think you can sit here and say that 2K hasn't attempted to make the game better. The game, since coming from PS4 to PS5, it's very much so more physics based, right? It's more of it's more of a realistic approach rather than the arcadey approach that the previous generation of consoles had. And now, hey, you may or may not like that, but that should be the basis of your argument. Not that 2K is trash because dribbling is not good and shooting is this and that. It's a different system. Like, they work differently. You can still dribble, you can still shoot, you can still do all these things. It's built in a way that's supposed to mimic real life rather than previous years where it was just zigzag cheese, speed boosting, these types of things. Those are fine. Those are in the game. That is what it is. 2K has innovated. You can't say 2K hasn't innovated. That's number one. Number two is almost all of the issues people have with the games, or like things being cheesy, moves being OP, the games being repetitive every year, is almost all user-based. I'm open to hearing opposing opinions on this. Every year, people do the same thing, right? They look for the cheesiest build, the cheesiest moves, the cheesiest jump shots, and then they make a video on it and get everybody else to do it, right? And that's kind of going to be the case for an online multiplayer game that I know. Some communities aren't like this. From the communities I've been a part of, this seems to be relatively typical. So every year, 2K has a list of cheesy things that they need to fix or patch or nerf or do all these different things. And that is a source of a lot of anger for people, right? It's like, oh, I made a 6.9 build, or I made a 6.3 build, and now it can't do what it used to do because they patched shooting and they patched this in the name of trying to keep the game balanced, because ultimately the complaint is either the game is not balanced or the game is OP, right? You have people on both sides of the spectrum. It's like, hey, when everybody was shooting 80% from three, people were like, people are shooting too good. Okay, well, 2K tweaks that and says, you know what, how about we try to average out shooting and make it a little harder, right? Or it's green or bust. Okay, well, everybody's shooting percentages come down to 50, and like, we don't like the green or bust system. We want whites back. Okay, cool. Well, you see in 2K25, they give you 3 different metrics or ways to shoot the basketball. Low risk, high risk, medium risk, normal risk. That's a problem, right? That's a source of issue for some people. That's like, okay, like for me personally, I like the green or bust system. I think anything that makes a game more competitive or more not casual friendly is going to be a better product for my game. 2K has a position where they have to make the game for the casual player. So a green or bust system isn't gonna suit a casual player. They have to try to make the game for competitive players. So hey, we give them high risk, we give them a reward for that. It's not enough. Plus, they're constantly dealing with the fact that at the end of the day, everyone's going to use the same 2 dribble moves, the same jump shots, the same settings in the name of trying to be as competitive as possible. They're going to find any tweak, any glitch, any break in the system to get a competitive advantage. And it's 2K's job to try to take as many of those away. But I don't think it's a problem that they take these things away, because ultimately you're trying to make the game as balanced as possible, because it's an online ranked game. So in the name of balancing the game, I think a lot of people are upset that the game is balanced. It's not perfectly balanced, but it is, in a sense, better balanced than it's been in previous years, where you had demigods and all types of crazy builds. The idea was, I think, 2K is trying to make, at least this year, 6.3 builds usable, 5.9 builds usable, 6.9 builds usable, and they all should have some type of limitation. It's the community that is going to find the optimized build, and they're going to give it to everybody, and everybody's going to run around with the most OP build imaginable. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know how that's 2K's issue. Because every year it's going to be the same thing. Every year, no matter what you do. I mean, people look back at these games with such nostalgic views, like 2K16, 2K14, 13, all these games. The games had the same issues, right? They weren't balanced at all. They were cheesy. Now, the way they moved might have been different. That might be something you like. But there's a number of people who like the more realistic style of gameplay. But ultimately, the issue, at the end of the day, the issue is with the people, us. I think the issue is with the community. Obviously, there's a lot of things 2K can do better and should do better in terms of the speed at which they fix things. More innovative. Like you can ask for more innovation, right? Because ultimately they make a lot of money from this game. They make a lot of money from their community. Well, hey, what you're putting out, we want even more. But to say it's not, I'm not gonna say you can't say it's good, not good, but I think we should look at 2K on the perspective of all the other sports games, where it stands. They innovate quite a bit, right? Year over year in terms of gameplay. The gameplay changes frequently. It even changes in the middle of the year, which is a whole nother issue. But I hope I'm not too all over the place. I think the general idea, the general gist I have is, I think 2K is overhated And I think the 2K community is like underhated. I think as a community, we need to, I'm not going to say call out the people who, it's just a tough system. What do you do if you're 2K and you have content creators that are going to find breaks in the game? Or it's like, oh, this crossover can't crack, you have to try to fix those things. Some of those things, if they haven't been fixed yet, why is crabbing still a thing? That should be fixed. But it's also on us to maybe not try to exploit things in the name of winning a game. But we're gonna do it anyway, right? Because we want to win the game. So that's my point. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Maybe if any of my points didn't make sense, I can expand on them in the comment section or something like that. But I want to know where I'm wrong, where you guys agree. Like I said, 2K26 giveaway is in the bio. We will do that giveaway August 22nd. It'll be on stream. I'm also streaming on Twitch. You can catch that 7 p.m. Central live pretty much every day. I think it's gonna be a good year. I'm probably gonna stream a lot of 2K. We're gonna have some fun. So if you made it this far, say hello. Shout out to all the people in the community getting ready to join the community. And if you're not in it, you should definitely join it. But I got nothing else for you. I hope to see you guys in the comment section so we can discuss this further. But that's it for me. You guys have a blessed one. Peace.